Hello, how's it going, man? Guess what? Your boy has come with another crazy ass video, a good ass story that I feel like I need to share this story because it's very close to me. Uh, reason I'm decided to tell you this story because I have seen different YouTubers talking about inmates killing their celli. You know, like the incident with Jaime Osuna from Bakers, Phantom from Fresno. Uh, those are stories that different people seen on the news, heard from a different YouTuber. Well, guess what? This story is something I witnessed, and it's another self murder incident that happened. And the messed up part about this incident is that old boy was about to go home. He had like 3 to 6 months to the house, and he was happy to go home because I already had talked to him, but he never made it home. So before I start with the story, please press like, let's share this video, man. Let's throw this video out there so people can actually see it and get the good facts and straight up. There's no extras, just pure facts, man. I'm telling you everything, how everything happened, why, and when it happened. Well, like I said, if you like my channel, you're more welcome to subscribe. But for right now, what I'm asking is just to push this video so we can throw this story out there and hopefully get some ears and throw some sense into some of the people who they think they have everything figured out. So the story is about the story happened about in Tehachapi in the beginning of 2016. It was an incel murder of Huero from Fresno, and the guy who took his life was his celli, Capon from Ventura. Their names, I think Capon's name was Tomas Santiago, and Huero's name, let me get it, was Miguel Alejo. So the story goes with starts with basically I was in AdSec. I had just recently go to AdSec because I was pending investigation of drugs for sales, you know. So I had went to the hole. Around that time, a lot of people that I knew went to the hole because there was somebody telling all of us. People were bringing phones, so all those people were on the back. So I was one of the last rounds to go on the back, you know. So I was in the back, and me and my celli went to the yard the first time since we've been in AdSec. So we were right there at the pull-up bar, you know, in our little cage, which is like a 9x9 or 12x12, whatever the measurements are. We're chilling when we heard on the radio, code 1, building 1. Me and my celli came from building 1, so we were like, what's going on in building 1, you know, like, what's up? At first we thought somebody was fighting, but eventually the officer was standing right next to us, was basically telling him, no, somebody's getting stabbed, somebody's getting killed in building 1. And you hear on the radio, like, hurry up, like they were crying for help, like officer, like they need assistance. So right here you can see the voice of the officers panic. They were panic, and we were like, what's going on? So at that period of time, me and my celli were like, who's doing all this? We have to know who it is because we know all the individuals. When I say we don't, everybody was in one block. We knew everybody was in one block. That's where Savage Studios was at. He was in C-section 1 block. So we end up we figured out, well, old boy's gonna come to AdSec regardless. At this time, we already know he had killed his celli. So sure enough, we see old boy coming through, and his back is full with orange paint. So he got pepper spray. So we didn't see his face. So we still guessing. Oh, I think it's this. Oh boy, oh, we think it's this. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go to committee. We're gonna come across oh boy. So sure enough, we went to committee, and I just seen him right there, like sad, like he was down. So we're right there on our little cages, which is like a 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot. You cannot sit in this cages. You have to be standing up. You know what I mean? And one of those cages with the white jumpsuit, and I see old boy coming in, and they put him in his cage, and he's across from me, but I don't want to speak because there's a lot of individuals waiting to go to committee. Plus, you got officers. You got two officers, and he just shook his head. At that time, I thought he felt some kind of remorse because I was like, man, he just killed Huero, and in the back of my head, I'm like, Huero was about to go home, like what? Like that's crazy. So he just told me, dude, I feel tired. I haven't slept. I'm tired. And I remember telling him, you're gonna have a lot of sleep in this place, I mean, he knows this is not his first shoot term or whatever, so he knows what's up. So I was like, hey, homeboy, I'll talk to you when we go to yard and stuff like that. So I did. Eventually, like after a week, I think it was like a week, I came across him in the yard. Basically, when I say I came across him, is basically they put him across my cell, my cage. So we're just close by, And that's when I decided to talk to him, and I was like, dude, like, what's up? What you did, dude? And he said, no, I just killed a boy. And I was like, old boy had like a week, like a week, 3 to 6 months to that pad. I don't remember how long he had, but he was under 6 months for sure. Because when I was on the yard, he had six months, and I remember he used to be talking how excited he was. I think Huero had a son out there. So my condolences to the family. So I told Capon, like, what's up, dude? Like, and he said, well, I did it because, first of all, he was like, man, screw old boy, you know what I mean? So I knew he had a lot of animosity towards old boy. And he was like, I did it because he was digging into my stash. He was taking out dope and putting pills in there. And I was like, whoa, okay. And my back of my head I was like, is it worth to kill somebody for that? Like, what, $20 worth of dope and stuff like that? But again, a lifer is a lifer. A lifer, you don't know. They don't got nothing to lose. They're going to do what they're going to do. And especially around that time where they didn't have a lot of hope. Now there's, the laws have changed. They're more lenient towards them. And they actually got a lot of chance of going home. That's why we are seeing a lot of lifers out on the streets, becoming YouTubers, throwing a lot of positivism to their community. That's one thing about lifers. They did their time in prison. During that time, for them to be able to gain their freedom, they had to go to board. And during that process, a lot of people change. A lot of people change into a good positive way. And now those lifers, they're out there on the streets putting positivism to the community. I know a lot of lifers who regain their freedom, and that's exactly what they're doing. I know a lot of them. So at this when I'm talking to Capone, he was like, yeah, the screw old boy. And I was like, well, okay, so how it happened, dude? Like, what's up? He said, well, I just got on the back of him and started choking him. I choked him, and I saw the cops coming in. They started hitting me with the batons. Like, they were hella hard hitting me, like with everything they had. But I wasn't letting go. And they sprayed me. And he was like, he told me they heard one of the officers saying a life for a life. Like, basically, at that moment, somebody was going to die. Whether it was Capone or it was Huero, somebody was dying. The officer was saying a life for a life. So they were going to kill Capone in order to save Huero, And it is very surreal, to hear somebody talk like that. Like, dude, this is what happened. I mean, nobody's going to know the full story because Huero's not here to tell us the story. But I want you guys to see and actually acknowledge is basically that a lot of times, not a lot of times, almost most of the times, having disrespectful ways, having bad mañas, bad ways, trying to come up over the next individual, like, it doesn't lead you to nowhere good in prison. That thing is gonna come back and bite you in the ass. A lot of people in the streets, they got this one feeling with, like, they're invincible, and they're coming. A lot of people are already coming with a lot of disrespectful ways. They just talk. They don't got no regard towards the next person, and that in prison it can cost you your life. And this is exactly what happened to Huero. It cost him his life. Didn't matter that he was about to go home. By him doing what he was doing, it cost him his life. And a lifer didn't hesitate to do it. You know what I mean? He didn't have nothing to lose, and that's how it's gonna be. I mean, for all of you who have never touched a prison, or who been in prison and go to a level 2, level 1, went to prison for 6 months, for a year, and you think you're with the business because you've been in prison. No, it's not like that, dude. Like, once you hit those places where the real deal, where it's cracking, like you'll have a different perspective in life. You'll think differently, and not a lot of people who've been in prison think like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you from my point of view, for what I have lived, that I see life differently. You know what I mean? Most of my time was in a level 4 in these shoot terms. I was in ADSEG. You know, eventually at the end of my sentence, I decided to change my life. That's when I started going to the lower levels and end up regaining my freedom. But I mean, it's something to pay attention to. But trip on this though. Well, this is the story of Capon and me, what I witnessed in ADSEG, and what Capon told me. But trip on this other story though. This is a different point of view. So when I went back from when I got out of ADSEG, I went back to my building. Eventually, I worked my way back to one block, and I talked to the porter and asked him, "Hey, dude, what's up with the incident?" Well, this is his point of view, what he saw. So he was telling me that he was the homie. It was the homie Wicked, who was a porter at that time. Told me that he was talking to Huero. He was talking to Huero, and this is what he witnessed. He said he was talking to Huero when he saw Capon getting off his bunk, start choking Huero up. And at first, Wicked said he felt like they're horsing around, you know, they were playing. And once he seen that Huero was serious and Capon was serious, he was like, "Dude, like, stop what you doing, man, that's enough." But Capon wasn't stopping. So the homie, what he did is basically, he felt like he didn't want to be a snitch or nothing like that. So he just felt like at that point that he needed to step away. And what he did, he told his co-worker, "I said, look, this is what's going on, dude. You're gonna do what you're gonna do, but I cannot get involved in that. You're gonna do what you're gonna do." And sure enough, the inmate did what he did. He called the cops. I mean, you already know the story. They opened his door, started beating on Capon to let him go. Capon is not letting nobody go, and he just took him out right there, dead. In CDCR, and I investigated. I searched the murder incident, and it came out with their own story. You know, where talking about they saw a boy in a cell, whatever. But this is what actually happened, and I got different. I mean, I got the source from the guy who did it, and I got the source from the individual who witnessed the incident, and me, who was actually witnessing what was going on with the radio. You know what I mean? So it is a sad story that it makes you think that we don't have nothing. I mean, for once, it's like, who wants to end up with a celli like that? I mean, you have to be careful. Once you go to those level 4s, it's like, you don't know who your celli is, and what you're gonna do to basically make him snap. You don't know. You don't know your celli until you. I mean, I don't think you never gonna know your celli until you actually push your celli to that limit. But I mean, some individuals like to push people to the limit, but I'm telling you, it's a bad idea to do that. You never do that in prison. Prison is mostly about respect. I mean, keeping it 100. That's it. I mean, there's a lot of individuals who are shady with their stuff, and everything ends up biting them in the ass and stuff like that. So just keep it 100 straight up, and hopefully you like this story. It's a very a very close story to me, because I knew these two individuals, and it's messed up for Huero not making it home for his family. And Capon, I mean, I feel for the homie, but I mean, he's not getting out of prison, you know. He's done. So I mean, it's a good ass story, and hopefully you guys like. So let's push this story out, and hopefully a lot of you guys like this story, because it's straight. I'm giving you nothing but the facts. My channel, what I'm trying to say is that basically I'm not trying to throw extras. I'm not gonna be right here talking about I stabbed like 20 people, like, when it's not true. When somebody can come out and say it's not true, you know what I mean? Why would I feel? I don't feel like I should pretend for who. I mean, I don't need the acceptance of nobody. You know what I mean? Because why? Because I know who I am as a person. A lot of individuals, they're not comfortable with who they are, where they've been at. They feel they need to throw extras to make them feel like big and like I did everything. I have done a lot of stuff in prison, dude. I have done so many stuff in prison that I'm gonna be putting videos out there, and I got facts on this, you know what I mean? So stay tuned, and hopefully you like the next video. But for right now, let's push this video out, man, and hopefully a lot of people just listen to this story and take something positive out of this. Because I mean, so society nowadays is going down south. It's going down south, man, and we need to start changing the way we think, be more respectful, more mindful of the next individual, you know what I mean? Because you never know what's gonna be on the other side of the door, you know what I mean? And for this story, somebody lost their life. I have seen a lot of YouTubers acting tough, acting all this, where they don't need to do all that, man. If you're comfortable with who you are as a person, you shouldn't feel the need to make a scene and act like I'm tough, when sometimes you're not tough. I mean, so I'm gonna drop this video, and hopefully you guys like this video. So, lates.